So I've had a number of people make this claim that thorium molten salt reactors were not developed early on in the United States because they couldn't be used for making weapons. And I don't know what the decisions about making weapons were or were not, but in a sense, thorium is actually easier to make nuclear weapons out of if you're using a molten salt type reactor. And here's why. When you're doing the uranium fuel cycle, if you're going to make a uranium weapon, you have to enrich it to above 90-95% enrichment, which is fairly difficult. And it's the same technology that's used to make just regular commercial nuclear fuel. And so you just have to run it longer. And so the controls there are to prevent people from running it to the point where you can make a weapon out of it, or you get sufficiently highly enriched uranium that it becomes weapons grade. If you're still using that cycle to do a plutonium weapon, then you've got to reprocess the fuel. And the problem with that is that if the fuel's been burnt for a long time, like in a regular civil nuclear reactor, then you don't get weapons grade plutonium. The plutonium is normally going to be plutonium-239, which is what you want if you're going to make a weapon. But if you burn it in a reactor, it gets activated, absorbs multiple neutrons, and becomes plutonium-240, which is not fissile, and then plutonium-241, which is, and then plutonium-242, which is not. And so if you burn it for too long, the plutonium is reactor grade. It's not really very good for nuclear weapons. And what's different with the thorium fuel cycle is that when you activate the thorium, it activates into protactinium-233 and then decays down into uranium-233, which is fissile. And in order to make that thorium molten salt reactor work, you've got to continually be taking some of the material out and then removing the fission products and then adding back in regular uranium, thorium, so that it can be activated and then decay back down into the uranium-233, which then keeps the critical reaction going. The issue is that when you do that, all you have to do is remove the uranium, and it's already in pure fissile material. Uranium-233 is not contaminated with other things, like highly enriched uranium is contaminated with uranium-238. Reactor-grade plutonium is contaminated with non-fissile plutonium-240. If you're doing a thorium fuel cycle, you get pure uranium-233, which is pure fissile material. And so you absolutely could make nuclear weapons out of it. Now, in all of these cases that I've just described, there are well-established controls that are recognized, and we're still developing them. We're still making them more robust. These new reactor designs that we're coming out with, we're desirous to make these not just proliferation prohibitive, but to make them actually proliferation impossible. That's the goal. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but that's certainly what we're working for. So hopefully this helps. I don't know where this myth came from, but you can make nuclear weapons out of the thorium fuel cycle. I hope that helps. We'll see. Thanks for the question. Have a good day.